Welcome back, coin collectors and enthusiasts. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of United Kingdom 2 pence coins, specifically exploring the top 4 most valuable pieces that stand out due to their rarity, unique mint marks, condition, and year of issue. The humble 2 pence coin, introduced in 1971 as part of the decimalisation of British currency, might seem ordinary at first glance, but some editions have become highly sought-after treasures in the numismatic world. Whether you are a seasoned collector or a casual hobbyist, understanding these coins can help you identify pieces that could be worth far more than their face value. Let's get started. First up, the 1997 United Kingdom 2 pence. At first glance, a dirty or heavily circulated 2p coin from 1997 might seem like nothing special. Many people have probably passed it around in everyday change without a second thought. However, when we examine its history, design, condition factors, and auction performance, we begin to understand why collectors still pay attention to this copper coin. In this video, we will explore its background, unique features, rarity and damaged condition, and most importantly, its current auction market value in US dollars. The 1997 2 pence coin was issued by the Royal Mint as part of the standard decimal coinage system of the United Kingdom. The decimal system was introduced in 1971, but by 1997, the 2 pence coin was already a well-established part of British daily life. The year 1997 was historically significant for Britain because it marked the final full year before the death of Princess Diana and the lead-up to major political changes under Prime Minister Tony Blair. Although the 2p coin itself was not a commemorative issue that year, it represents a specific period in British monetary history when copper-plated steel coins had not yet replaced the original bronze composition. The obverse of the 1997 2 pence features the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Ian Rank Broadley. This was the 4th definitive portrait of Her Majesty used on British coinage. Around the portrait, you will find the inscription Elizabeth II DG Reg FD, which stands for Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. The reverse design shows the badge of the Prince of Wales, 3 ostrich feathers emerging from a coronet, above a scroll bearing the German motto Ich din, meaning I serve. Below the design is the denomination 2 pence, along with the date 1997. The coin is made of bronze, weighing approximately 7.12 grams and measuring 25.9 millimeters in diameter. Its rich reddish-brown color is one of its most recognizable features when in original mint condition. Now, let us focus on the condition aspect, particularly dirty or heavily circulated examples. A dirty 1997 2 pence coin often appears dark brown, sometimes nearly black, due to oxidation, handling, and environmental exposure. Dirt can accumulate in the recessed parts of the design, especially around the feathers and lettering. While many people assume dirt automatically makes a coin worthless, the reality is more nuanced. In general, collectors prefer coins in clean, uncirculated, or mint state condition. However, circulated coins still hold interest, especially if they have unusual characteristics such as mint errors, die cracks, off-center strikes, or rare varieties. In terms of mintage, the 1997 2 pence coin was produced in large quantities, running into tens of millions. This means that in standard circulated condition, it is not considered rare. However, rarity is not always about low mintage alone. It can also relate to condition scarcity, error varieties, or unusual die states. For example, if a 1997 2 pence coin shows a noticeable minting error or an unusual striking flaw, collectors may be willing to pay a premium, even if the coin is dirty. A damaged coin without any special feature usually carries only face value, but a damaged coin with a rare error can become a desirable collectible. When discussing auction market value in US dollars, we must separate ordinary circulated coins from exceptional pieces. A normal 1997 2 pence coin in dirty, circulated condition typically sells for its face value approximately 2 cents to 10 cents if exchanged internationally. On online marketplaces and small auctions, bulk lots of circulated 2p coins sometimes sell for slightly above face value due to copper content interest or collector demand, but individual coins rarely exceed $1 unless they are in brilliant uncirculated condition. However, if the 1997 coin has a verified mint error, such as a dramatic off-center strike or a major die crack, auction results can range from $10 to $50, and in rare cases even higher depending on the severity and visibility of the error. Exceptionally preserved uncirculated examples graded by professional grading services can sometimes achieve $5 to $20. But it is very important to understand that a dirty condition alone does not increase value. In fact, it usually decreases it unless the dirt hides an underlying mint state surface that can be professionally conserved. Collector demand for the 1997 2 pence coin is moderate. It is not among the rarest British coins, but it holds steady interest among those completing date runs of decimal coinage. Many collectors aim to gather every year of 2p coins from 1971 onward. For them, even a circulated 1997 example fills an important gap in an album. That consistent demand keeps the coin relevant in the secondary market, even if it is not dramatically valuable. For collectors watching this video, here are some important tips. First, never clean your coin aggressively. Cleaning can scratch the surface and permanently reduce its collector value. Second, examine the coin under good lighting and magnification to check for errors or unusual features. Third, compare your coin to verified auction listings to understand realistic market prices. And finally, if you believe your coin has a genuine mint error, consider having it evaluated by a professional grading service before selling. In conclusion, the 1997 United Kingdom 2 pence coin in dirty condition is generally a common coin with low monetary value. Its standard auction price in circulated form typically remains close to face value, usually under $1. However, special varieties, mint errors, or high-grade examples can bring higher prices at auction. While it may not be a big millions worth coin, it is still a meaningful piece of British numismatic history. Sometimes the real value of a coin lies not only in dollars, but in the story it tells about the era it represents. Next up, the 1971 United Kingdom 2 pence coin. At first glance, this coin may look like ordinary pocket change, especially if it's scratched, dirty, or heavily circulated. However, many collectors still wonder whether these early decimal coins have any hidden value. In this video, we'll look at the history of the 1971 2 pence coin, its unique design features, collector demand even in damaged condition, and its potential auction value in US dollars. By the end of this video, you'll know whether that worn-out 1971 2 pence coin in your collection might still be worth something. The 1971 2 pence coin holds an important place in British monetary history. It was introduced on Decimal Day, February 15, 1971, when the United Kingdom changed from the old currency system of pounds, shillings, and pence to a decimal system of 100 pence per pound. This new coin was part of the first wave of decimal currency issued to simplify everyday transactions. The coin was struck in enormous numbers to ensure enough coins were available for the public during the transition. In fact, more than 1.45 billion 1971 2 pence coins were minted for circulation, making it one of the most widely produced coins in British history. Because so many were produced, the coin quickly became common in everyday use across the UK. Despite its massive mintage, the coin still remains historically important as one of the earliest decimal coins ever issued in Britain. The 1971 2 pence coin has several distinctive features that collectors look for. The coin is made of bronze and weighs about 7.12 grams with a diameter of roughly 25.9 millimeters. On the obverse side of the coin, you'll see the portrait of Elizabeth II, designed by Arnold Machin. The Queen's portrait is surrounded by the traditional Latin inscription identifying her royal title. The reverse side of the coin features the badge of the Prince of Wales' 3 feathers emerging from a crown with a ribbon bearing the motto ICHDN, meaning I serve. Above the design appears the inscription New Pence, which was used on coins from 1971 to 1981 to distinguish the new decimal currency from the old system. These design elements make the coin easy to recognize and historically meaningful to collectors of British currency. When it comes to rarity, the standard 1971 2 pence coin is considered very common due to its extremely high mintage. Because billions were produced, most examples found today are heavily circulated and often appear in worn or damaged condition. For collectors, condition plays a huge role in determining value. A coin that is scratched, dirty, corroded, or heavily worn usually has very little collector demand. Most collectors prefer coins that are bright, well-preserved, and close to mint condition. However, there are exceptions. Certain minting errors, such as coins struck on the wrong metal blank, can become extremely valuable. Some rare silver-colored 2p error coins have sold at auction for over £1,000, demonstrating how unusual mint mistakes can dramatically increase value. But for a typical 1971 2 pence coin in bad condition, collectors generally view it as a common historical coin rather than a rare treasure. Now let's talk about the part everyone wants to know: the value. In today's collector market, a normal 1971 2 pence coin usually has a very small value. A typical circulated example is often worth only a few cents, and even a well-preserved example may sell for around 30 cents or slightly more depending on condition. If the coin is in bad condition, meaning it has heavy wear, dirt, or corrosion, its value usually stays close to its face value or only a few cents in the collector market. However, coins with special errors, proof versions, or unusual minting characteristics can sometimes sell for significantly higher prices at auctions. If you're collecting British coins or searching through old change, here are a few tips to keep in mind. First, always check the coin's condition carefully. Even small details like scratches or discoloration can affect value. Look closely for unusual features or minting errors. Coins struck on the wrong metal, coins with misaligned designs, or coins with unusual coloring can sometimes be worth far more than standard examples that store your coins properly. Keeping them in protective holders and avoiding cleaning them can help preserve their value over time. Cleaning coins may seem helpful, but it can actually reduce their collector value. If you believe you found a rare variety, consider having the coin examined by a professional coin dealer or numismatic expert. To conclude, the 1971 United Kingdom 2 pence coin is an important piece of British currency history, representing the country's transition to a modern decimal monetary system. While billions were produced, making the coin very common today, it still holds historical interest for collectors and coin enthusiasts, and in most cases, a worn or damaged 1971 2 pence coin will only be worth a few cents in the collector market. However, rare minting errors or exceptional conditions can sometimes increase its value significantly. Next up, the 1995 2 pence coin from the United Kingdom, a small coin that many people have seen in everyday change but rarely stop to examine. The coin belongs to the well-known United Kingdom 2 pence coin series that began after the United Kingdom switched to decimal currency in 1971. At first glance, the 1995 2 pence may look like a common copper coin, but collectors often wonder whether certain years or conditions can make it more valuable. In this video, we'll explore the history of the coin, its unique design features, how collectors view it in circulated or damaged condition, and what it could actually sell for at auctions today in US dollars. The 2p coin has been part of the British decimal currency system since 1971, replacing older penny denominations during the decimalisation of the pound. The 1995 issue was struck by the Royal Mint, the official producer of British coins, in 1995. Approximately 124,482,000 2 pence coins were minted for circulation, making it a relatively common issue in the overall series. Despite this large mintage, these coins still play an important role in coin collecting because they represent the modern era of British currency and feature designs that remained in circulation for decades. The 1995 version also reflects the transition period when the coin's metal composition had changed from bronze to copper-plated steel earlier in the decade, making it slightly different from earlier issues. The 1995 2 pence coin has several distinctive features that collectors look for. On the obverse, the coin displays the third portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, facing right and wearing the royal diadem crown. Around the portrait is the Latin inscription Elizabeth II D times G times Reg times F times D times 1995, which translates to Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. The reverse side features the famous Prince of Wales feathers, a heraldic badge representing the heir to the British throne. Beneath the feathers is the numeral 2, and surrounding it are the words 2 pence. This design was created by British coin designer Christopher Ironside and remained on the coin until the redesign of UK coins in 2008. The coin measures about 25.9 mm in diameter and weighs around 7.12 grams, with a smooth edge and a copper-plated steel composition that gives it its familiar reddish color. When collectors talk about rarity, they usually focus on coins with low mintages, minting errors, or exceptional preservation. In the case of the 1995 2 pence coin, the relatively high mintage means that most examples are considered common in the numismatic market. However, coins found in circulated or even damaged condition can still attract attention from beginner collectors who want to complete date collections of British decimal coins. A coin in fine condition, which means moderate wear but clear details, can still be collectible, especially if it has an attractive natural color or minimal corrosion. On the other hand, heavily damaged coins with rust, scratches, or environmental damage usually lose most of their collectible value. Because the coin is made from copper-plated steel, exposure to moisture can cause rust to appear on worn areas, which collectors tend to avoid. So what is the 1995 United Kingdom 2 pence coin actually worth today? According to collector price guides and coin catalogue estimates, a typical circulated example may sell for around 10 cents to 30 cents, while higher-grade uncirculated pieces might reach about $1 to $2.50 depending on quality. Coins in fine condition, the type many people find in circulation, usually fall near the lower end of that range. In most auctions or online sales, they often sell for only a few cents above face value unless they have a rare minting error or exceptional preservation. However, collectors should remember that coin markets can vary. Sometimes, unusual errors or special varieties can increase the value dramatically, but standard 1995 2p coins generally remain inexpensive collector pieces. If you're interested in collecting British coins like the 1995 2 pence, here are a few useful tips. Always check the coin carefully for minting errors, such as off-center strikes, unusual metal colors, or misprints. Error coins can be significantly more valuable than standard pieces. Second, pay close attention to condition. Coins that retain strong detail, original color, and minimal scratches are always more desirable to collectors. Store your coins properly. Use coin holders or albums to protect them from moisture and fingerprints, which can damage copper-plated surfaces over time. Compare auction listings and coin catalogs before selling or buying. Prices can vary depending on demand and condition, so research is essential. In conclusion, the 1995 United Kingdom 2 pence coin is an interesting piece of modern British currency history. Although it was produced in large numbers and is generally considered common, it still holds educational and collectible value, especially for those building a complete set of UK decimal coins. For most collectors, a 1995 2p coin in fine condition is worth only a small amount, often just a few cents above face value. But as with any coin, rare errors, exceptional condition, or special varieties can always increase its value and make it more exciting for collectors. Next up, the United Kingdom 2 pence coin from the year 2001, especially in what many collectors describe as a black shade condition. At first glance, this may seem like an ordinary coin that many people have handled in everyday transactions. However, as we will explore in this video, even a common circulating coin like the 2001 2 pence can attract attention in the collector's market, particularly when unusual toning, discoloration, or surface changes give it a dramatic dark appearance. We will discuss its historical background, its design features, how condition affects value, whether a blackened example increases or decreases rarity, and what kind of auction prices such coins can reach in US dollars. So stay with me as we uncover the true story behind this fascinating piece of British coinage. The 2001 2 pence coin is part of the modern decimal coinage system of the United Kingdom, which was introduced on Decimal Day in 1971. Since that time, the 2 pence denomination has remained a stable and familiar part of everyday British currency. In 2001, the coin was issued during the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, whose portrait appears on the obverse. By that year, the portrait used was the fourth definitive portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Ian Rank-Broadley. This effigy presents the Queen with a more mature and realistic depiction compared to earlier versions, and it was used on UK coins from 1998 until 2015. The 2 pence coin itself is made primarily of copper-plated steel in later years, but earlier issues were bronze. By 2001, the Royal Mint had transitioned to copper-plated steel for many lower denominations due to rising metal costs. This change is important when discussing black shade coins because steel cores can react differently to environmental exposure compared to solid bronze coins. The 2001 mintage was produced in large quantities for circulation, meaning it was never intended to be rare. However, as collectors know, condition and unusual characteristics can sometimes create niche demand. The 2001 2 pence coin carries the familiar reverse design introduced in 1982, the badge of the Prince of Wales. This design features 3 ostrich feathers emerging from a coronet, along with the motto ICHDN, which means I serve in German. The denomination 2 pence appears below the feathers. The design is bold, symmetrical, and deeply struck, making it one of the most recognizable symbols in British numismatics. On the obverse, the coin displays the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II by Ian Rank-Broadley, surrounded by the inscription Elizabeth II DG Reg. FD 2001, which stands for Dei Gratia Regina Fide Defensa, meaning by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. The rim of the coin is smooth, and the coin has a relatively large diameter compared to other small denominations, which makes it visually impressive. Now, when we talk about a black shade condition, we are usually referring to a coin that has darkened significantly over time. This can occur due to oxidation, environmental exposure, moisture, burial, fire damage, or chemical reactions. On copper-plated steel coins, if the plating is damaged, the steel core may oxidize, causing dark or black patches. While some collectors appreciate natural toning, heavy black discoloration is often classified as damage rather than a desirable mint error point. One of the most important questions collectors ask is whether a blackened or dark-shaded 2001 2 pence coin is rare. In general, the 2001 issue itself is not rare in standard circulated condition because millions were produced. Therefore, a coin that has turned black due to environmental exposure is usually considered damaged rather than rare. However, there is a small but interesting niche in the coin collecting community that seeks out unusual toning patterns. If the black shade is even, aesthetically appealing, and clearly natural rather than artificially altered, some collectors may find it attractive. Still, such demand is limited and highly subjective. In most cases, damage reduces value rather than increases it. The key factor is whether the black appearance is due to a genuine minting anomaly or post-mint damage. A true mint error such as improper plating or striking on a flawed planchette can significantly increase value. But ordinary discoloration from circulation typically lowers collector interest. Therefore, a heavily blackened coin in poor condition is generally less desirable than a bright, well-preserved example. Let us now talk about auction market value in US dollars. In normal circulated condition, a standard 2001 UK 2 pence coin is worth its face value about 2 pence, which converts to only a few US cents. In bulk lots, these coins typically sell for their metal or face value. If the coin is in uncirculated or brilliant uncirculated condition, it might sell for approximately $1 to $3, depending on demand and presentation. Coins graded in extremely high mint state by professional grading services can sometimes reach slightly higher prices, especially if preserved in original mint sets. For a black shade coin in damaged condition, auction value is usually lower than a standard collectible example. In many online auctions, such coins may sell for anywhere between 50 cents and $2, mostly as novelty pieces rather than serious numismatic treasures. Only if the black coloration is linked to a verified mint error could the value potentially rise to $10, $20, or more, depending on collector interest and authentication. It is important to understand that dramatic online listings claiming rare black 2001 2 pence worth thousands are often exaggerated. Serious buyers rely on condition, grading, and verified rarity, not simply unusual color. If you have a 2001 2 pence coin in black shade condition, the first step is to examine it carefully. Look for signs of plating errors, unusual texture, or consistent factory-related anomalies. Avoid cleaning the coin, as cleaning can significantly reduce collector value. Even if the coin looks dark or dirty, cleaning it can scratch the surface and make it less desirable. Consider comparing your coin with known mint error examples online or consulting a professional coin dealer. If you suspect a genuine mint error, you may want to have the coin authenticated by a reputable grading service. Proper authentication can make a significant difference in market value. Also remember that condition matters greatly. Coins stored in dry, protective holders tend to retain their original appearance. If you plan to build a collection, focus on obtaining coins in the best condition you can afford. While unusual pieces can be interesting conversation starters, long-term value usually lies in high-grade, well-preserved examples. In conclusion, the United Kingdom 2 pence coin from 2001 is a common circulation issue with strong historical and symbolic design elements. Featuring the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II and the Prince of Wales' feathers, it represents continuity in modern British coinage. While a black shade condition may make the coin visually striking, it is generally considered damage rather than rarity. As a result, its auction market value in US dollars is typically modest unless a verified mint error is involved. Not every unusual-looking coin is valuable. The 2001 2 pence reminds us that even everyday currency can spark curiosity and learning in the world of numismatics. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoy exploring the hidden value of coins, be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more detailed coin reviews in future videos.